I'm Rich Carroll. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow you. Just over 6,100 students returned to in-person classes last week in Flagler County, and cases of COVID-19 are impacting campuses. Marina Brett has the full story.
County Health Officer Bob Snyder says a fifth grader and a staffer tested positive at Old Kings Elementary, while a second grade teacher at Bunnell Elementary tested positive, and 2 students also received positive results at Flagler Palm Coast High School. He said they are working with the school department to keep parents informed.
Well, after the first week of school, positive cases have surfaced, a few which resulted in notification to parents and identification of close contacts. So we're working with the school district, our partners, on a process for sharing information on a weekly basis as to what the status is for COVID-19, to share data about number of students, staff, schools, and grades, and public health action that has been taken to reduce transmission of the virus.
Snyder said if your child had any close contact with the infected individuals, they'll be contacted by the Flagler County Department of Health.
Following a pair of day-long workshops, the Flagler Beach City Commission voted informally 4-1 to not only keep the city's tax rate the same, but to cut it back to the rollback rate, so there could be no tax increase. However, Kathleen Doyle, the city's finance director, submitted a revised budget book with an increased rate from the 5.285 that had been agreed upon to 5.4552. Once Commission Chair Jane Mealy called for a third budget workshop this Thursday, Commissioner Rick Bellumer suggested a conspiracy to raise taxes was afoot.
Yeah, they have all this time, and they're behind closed doors. They're talking with their city manager and deciding what they want to have in their budget. And I'm not saying they're out to try and, intentionally mislead us. However, some of this stuff is a little overambitious, I believe, and it's everybody working together as a staff to create, all the city manager and all the department heads are working together to put this budget together. And we get a big old loose leaf put in front of us, and we have to try and make heads or tails out of it.
However, Commissioner Mealy said this was no conspiracy. It's really just due diligence.
I wouldn't have had to put this conspiracy together if I had to. I simply want to do my job the way I understand it should be done. So there were 4 commissioners who, by consensus, agreed to holding it at the rollback rate. So then it was up to staff to come up with changes. So I felt it was incumbent on us to look at the new numbers to see what the impact of the rollback rate was going to be. Now, if that's a conspiracy, I guess it is.
Either way, Commissioner Bellumer said it's been a rough year for everybody, and they shouldn't multiply it by raising taxes, and they need to find a way to run the city with the same amount of money they used last year. 2.5 years after he was first indicted, 37-year-old Joseph Colin pleaded guilty to a charge of second-degree murder in the 2017 overdose death of a Palm Coast woman. And on Monday, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. 23-year-old Savannah DeAngelis was rushed to the hospital October 28, 2017, and died 2 weeks later after being taken off life support. Colin was seen on video entering DeAngelis' subdivision and stopping in front of her residence when she came out and was handed something. A short time later, she was found unconscious on the bathroom floor with a syringe and a baggie containing heroin and fentanyl. The incident happened less than a month after Florida law was amended, allowing drug dealers to be charged with murder if their drug dealing results in a death. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley noted that the sentence came down on International Drug Overdose Awareness Day and warned others to be aware they'd be prosecuted also.
Poison peddlers should know that we investigate every overdose and every overdose death as a homicide, and we will do everything possible to put them in prison for the rest of their lives. Let this be a warning to the poison peddlers in Flagler County. Get out of town or you're next.
Colin was the first drug dealer in Flagler County to be charged with murder in connection with a drug overdose.
Flagler County High School football is back, and the Potato Bowl features the Matanzas FPC rivalry. The game is happening September 18th at FPC High School. It can be heard right here on WNZF, or maybe you want to be there in person. Got a ticket?
You'll need one this year.
Everybody's going to have a ticket this year, which is a little different than years past.
David Bosserdet, the district safety specialist for Flagler Schools, says that there are only a limited number for the games this year.
We are going to do prepaid tickets to just get to that number, number, and then once those tickets are sold, we know that's the maximum occupancy.
Bossardette said that limiting the number of fans allows for social distancing, and that limits the spread of COVID-19. To listen to the interview with all those in the know about high school sports and coronavirus safety, download the Flagler radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. Tomorrow, how will you behave when you're at the game? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.